So, I'm sitting here with Miss Tonia Grady, and my first question I would like to ask is, who is Tonia Grady, in your words?
Oh, Tonia Grady is a independent filmmaker, director, television producer. I am a single mom, and I am out here struggling, trying to make it happen, trying to get there. That's who I am.
Living every day, trying to make it happen.
Every day, every day.
And that's why we're connected. It's so strange how we connected. I went to a print shop a couple blocks away, and the minute I walked in, the gentleman there said, "I have some information for you." And I'm like, I'm putting in an order. He said, "There's someone I really need you to connect with, need you to meet." And he showed me your flyer that they were printing up, your brochure. And it's definitely a connection there because they didn't have to do what they did. And I think I called you the next day or texted you or emailed you.
Yeah.
And you hit me back and we got to speak, so on and so forth. I sent you some info, you sent me some info, did the research. And I love what I read because part of your film is my life. The name of the film is there's a trailer film.
It's a documentary.
Documentary. The title is Man Up.
Man Up, the exploration of a fatherless nation.
It's been at least 7 or 8 years, and I just want to connect more and spend more time because he's been gone for so long.
And it hit home, from reading it. And I immediately went and showed a friend of mine who's on the camera, Mr. David Street, and he was like, "Wow, look at this!" And it said a 10-city tour. And it didn't say nothing about a single mother, didn't say much of this. I didn't really get to read that. But the connection was there, and that's nothing but God. So I want to know where you're going with Man Up and some of the responses that you may have gotten.
Well, let's just say when I first started to do the documentary, I didn't plan on a 10-city tour. I didn't plan on it, snowballing out of control the way it is. And I'm thankful for that, But it's just one of those things where from the first press release that I put out about this film, it had a buzz that was unbelievable. And since I've been taking it on tour, every city we've done 6 cities to date. And every city that we've been in, they love it. They love the documentary. They love what it stands for. They love the fact that a single mother produced it.
Right.
They a lot of people think that's unique, and I don't necessarily think it's unique. I just think that I was the first one to the table with it. That's just all it is.
I believe you're headed there. Now, being on the ground with your production, what are some of the responses that you're getting from the people after the show or during the show? What are they saying to you?
Oh my goodness. People are loving it. They're telling me that they are so thankful that I produced this. It's their story. They're telling me that the story resonated with them. A lot of people just want to touch me and hold me and just, as if I'm, Jesus walking or something. And I'm like, it's nothing that I did. I'm just basically telling people's stories. But these people are totally moved by it. People are crying. People are just, they're down for the fight. They tell me, let me know the next city that you go to. I'm calling up everybody, my grandparents, my uncles, my cousins, everybody. And it's just been just this forward movement from the ground. People are just loving it. They're embracing it.
And it's a touch home issue because there's so many fatherless kids out there. And there's so many kids that were fatherless are now fathers.
Exactly.
There's so many fatherless kids out there now mothers. So a lot of these generational curses are being passed down.
Yep.
And kids are not getting raised. A woman can raise, I don't believe a woman can raise a boy, to its fullest. So I'm pretty sure you had theater full of people that fit into that category and just, the pain. Because I know the personal pain that I had being a fatherless child. My aunts, grandmothers, and uncles couldn't compensate for the father. So within your cast or the people that, told their stories, did you really get to connect with them and really feel their pain? Did they open up totally?
I know where I went and where I turned off, and I don't want them to turn off and go down the wrong path.
And express,
Yes, I had no idea. I am a totally honest person. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I started this documentary. I was not prepared for what I got. When I interviewed my subjects, these people opened up so wide. I mean, to the point where it was like in every interview, it was like your hairs on your arm and the back of your neck was standing up because the emotion was so deep.
Right.
These people were telling, stuff that they've kept hidden and just bottled up for so long. And, here comes me, and finally somebody wants to hear their story, and they're so glad to tell it. But the emotions, people cry, and it's like I had so many interviews where we had to just cry through it.
Right.
Tears everywhere. I'm crying, the cameraman crying, my other producers on set crying, everybody's crying, and it's just, I had no idea that the children would be so articulate. That was one of the things that I found to be surprising. I knew that, children would probably, tell their story, but wouldn't tell it in a way that would make sense or move anybody.
Right.
I was sadly mistaken.
Actually, I never met my father, and I hope one day I will meet him, like he don't know who I am.
These kids were opened up, told me what I wanted to know. They were articulate, and they were just glad somebody asked.
Right. So, jumping, you mentioned your daughter. Was she 95% of your inspiration to put this project out there? Would you say 75, 100?
1,000%.
1,000%. That's the number I wanted to hear.
1,000%. It's all about my daughter,
Right.
and
And
she
what's your
moves
daughter's
me.
name?
Skylar.
Okay.
My daughter's name is Skylar. She's 7 years old right now, and I basically wanted to do the documentary because when she asked the questions, where's her daddy? How come her daddy isn't picking her up from school, and how come she hasn't seen him? And those questions I couldn't answer for her. And the pain was a little unbearable for me, and I'm a doer. I had to do something with that emotion and something. So I decided, I'm gonna do a documentary, and I'll fight not only for my daughter, but I'll fight for all the other children.
When I was younger, I used to be around my dad, but as I grew up, he stopped coming around.
I took it personally. I tell people I did. My mom was like, don't ever blame yourself. I was like, I don't blame myself, but I really did.
That's how it all got started.
And that's a good thing. It takes one small seed,
Yeah.
one small question that you can't answer, and you take it and you spin it around into something positive. And your daughter has helped so many people with one question.
Yes, she
You know
has.
what I mean? So I believe all things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, that knot gets tied up. And as you say, it went from 2, maybe go from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. God can work it out like that. He's funny like that.
I know.
I'm one of those believers. Sometimes, some situations, some people are better away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Naturally, we want them all there. But sometimes, sometimes you need that step away and come back right
And
get
back.
it together.
Exactly.
So we definitely pray for that. But yeah, this is Tonia Grady, an everyday person, and just remember the name, follow her, look her up, do what you have to do, support. Most of all, because we do have to support each other, and sometimes it's not all financial. It could be a prayer.
Yeah.
It could be coming out, getting a T-shirt. It can be coming to share your story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Any little thing can help push somebody else over the cliff.
Exactly.
So I definitely want to thank you for spending time with you. I love the connection we had.
Thank you for interviewing me.
But of course, had to. You're down to earth and you're going somewhere. You know what I mean? So you definitely want to meet somebody on their way. You know what I mean? So I shook her hand. I sat on her balcony, ate Spanish food. And we chopped it up and talked about Man Up and my productions and possibly working together in the future.
Exactly.
So that's what it's about, helping each other and doing what we got to do for the kids. There you go. You have it. Shout out to Streets Entertainment on the film, and we'll see y'all soon. God bless.
Peace.
To see what I've accomplished, to be there for me. And he's not. It just doesn't make any sense.